beautiful and amazing YouTube family. It's me, Lisa, your host, and I am so glad that you joined me for another episode of Smile with Me. Y'all, I want to tell you about an adventure that I went on last week, and it was amazing. Oh, it was amazing. I went to Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. You can kind of tell I got a little bit of a tan, going on and stuff. So it's all good. It'll be all right. So I also want to tell you about how the book of Isaiah, chapter 41 and the 10th verse was very forefront on my mind, the whole time that I was there, and how I was able to reference it in so many different situations while I was in the Dominican Republic. So let me share it with you, and it's coming from the Easy Read version. It says, "Don't worry, I am with you. Don't be afraid, I am your God. I will make you strong and I will help you. I will support you with my right hand that brings victory." And I want to talk to you about that second half there, about using his right hand for victory, as I tell you about my adventures on my trip to the Dominican. So I was there for 6 days, and I think it was maybe my second or third day, I can't remember now, I went on an excursion that provided 7 things. There was a fantastic buffet meal that was at the end that was included. There was a safari, dune buggy riding in the mud, zip lining, horseback riding, bungee jumping, and there was another thing. What was it? Oh, it was a chairlift. Okay, so the main thing I wanted to do when I got to the Dominican was to go zip lining. That's what I had been counting on doing. And so the first thing we did was a chairlift, and the chairlift took us up to the zip line. So zip lining had 5 lines. Yes, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. I thought there was just one. Well, when I got up there, had my harness on and stuff, and I'm hanging on, and I'm strapped in, and she's like, lift your feet and lean back. Well, I did that, and I'm like, zoom, straight down. It was so fun. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most exhilarating things I've ever done. Just whoo, all the way down. Well, I got a surprise because I didn't realize they had these little stoppers, on the cables that would help you to slow down and stuff. And so the first one I hit was a surprise to me, because I go through it, I'm like, wham, into the stopper, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurt my hand. If I got to do this 4 more times, I'm going to end up with calluses. But check it out. I didn't get a single one. So I was like, praise God for that. So from there, hop on to the next one, get on the next zip line, the third one, the fourth one, and then here I come up to the very last zip line. So I'm coming down and before, I got started on the zip line, I got back up just a little bit. Before I got on the zip line, I had already encountered the photographer. And for those of you who know me, I like to be I like photographers. I try to get a photo op every time I try. Hey, I don't know. It's just something about that. I just love that. So anyway, I had already talked to him, and I said, I need you to be looking for me. Look for this face when it comes through. I said, because I'm going to be coming in hot, and you're going to have the best picture ever that you're going to take all day is when I come through. So he's like, bet, I got you. So anyway, I'm on the last zip line. I'm coming down through. I'm like, whoa, yeah, this is so much fun. And so the photographer comes into view, and I'm like, I'm coming in hot. I come to a screeching halt, I'm like, what in the world is going on? This isn't supposed to happen. What's wrong with this thing? Like, and I'm not moving. Well, apparently I had lost my momentum from zoom. I had lost my momentum. And so the photographer's right there, and the photographer's like, she needs some help. And so the zipline rescue team comes out, and this little guy comes out, and he's having to manually, crawl down the cable, to get to me. And he hooks me to himself, and then he backpedals the 2 of us back to the bay so that we can get off the zip line. And so I was like, okay, this is interesting. Thank you so much. So the photographer is just steady, click, 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 click away. So there's a photo I'll show at the end of this video of me being stuck on the zip line and stuff. But the interesting thing is that the entire time I was on that zip line, I had no fear. I was not worried at all. I was like, oh, well, you know what? In the book of Isaiah, the 41st chapter, 10th verse, that second part of that verse, it talks about how he's going to hold me up with his right hand that gets me to the end of the finish line / victory for ziplining. I'm like, okay, it's all good. So we get into the bay, and the next thing was bungee jumping. There were two ways to get down to the ground from where I was at. And so it was either like go down about 5 or 6 flight of stairs, or like a bungee jump, which was about 250 feet down. So I'm like, okay, I'll bungee jump. I've been stuck on the zip line. Hey, I'll bungee jump, So they got me hooked up. I had to walk over to the edge of the platform. I felt like I was getting ready for like an Olympic swimming event, because I had to put my heels on the edge of the platform, and I was teetering back like so. And so the guy was like, you ready? Ready. He pushed me back by my shoulders, and here I go. Voing, 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 and finally ended up on the ground and stuff. And so that was really cool as well. So I was like, okay, here we go for the next thing. Okay, sorry about that. Had to get a drink of water. So it was on to the next thing, which was the dune buggy rides. And so if you ever go to the Dominican and you participate in that, the best seat is the back seat of the dune buggy. And make sure you have some eye covering on. I had on sunglasses, but you might want to wear goggles or something like that and stuff. But that's the best spot to sit in, because you get muddy. So about halfway through, we stopped at a creek, and everybody hopped out of the dune buggies and got in the creek, to splash off to get some of the mud off of us and stuff. And it reminded me of when I was younger and growing up in the country and stuff, that how my brothers and my cousins and we would go down to the creek that was below our home. And so we would be down in the creek swimming around, splashing around. I say swimming. Mind you now, neither of us could swim at all, but we would just be splashing around. We'd be riding our bikes through the creek and stuff in the low parts and stuff like that. So it was just really cool. Amazing how God looks after us, We had no idea what we were doing. We were just down in the creek. So anyway, we all hopped back into our dune buggies and stuff and took off for the second half, and it got even muddier. I was very grateful that the folks at the resort had already prepared me and said, take an extra change of clothes, because you're going to get dirty, or even take something that, if it's some clothes that you might want to even just toss, because it may not come clean and stuff. So I was like, thank you for that heads up. So it's all good. So our next stop was the safari. And there was this really cool tree that I kept seeing along the, while we were at the park. We were at La Hacienda Park in Haigui, in the Dominican Republic. The city was called Haigui. And so we were at the park doing all of these excursions and stuff and activities. And so there were these trees that were there, and they were all over the park. And I couldn't figure out what was the deal with them. There had to be something. I don't know if they're native to the Dominican, or if they grow in a lot of different places, and the Dominican is just one of the places that they grow. I don't know. But I'm telling you guys, the leaves on this plane were ginormous. I have small hands. Those leaves were probably about the size of 4 of my hands or bigger. I mean, they were huge. The trunk of the tree was so cool. It was like a gray, smooth bark. It reminded me of like a river birch. It was so smooth. But the limbs on this tree were huge. And so when we were on the safari, I was noticing these gray balls like in the ditch along the way we were riding on the safari truck and stuff. And so I was like, are those hornet nests? Because surely they're not that many hornets nests that are along this pathway, because there's people on this pathway and they could get, stung by these bees and stuff. And so I asked the tour guide, like, what is that? And he said that was the leaf off of the tree, and the tree is called a grumo tree. It is spelled Guarumo, but it's pronounced grumo. If you get some time, do some research on it. I looked it up, of course, I wanted to see what it was all about and stuff, because the size of the leaves was just so intriguing to me. And when the leaves would fall down, they turn gray. When the leaves fall off the tree, they turn gray, and they curl up into like a ball, and it looks like a hornet's nest. And so I was like, whoa, this is interesting. So I'm Googling it, as I'm riding along on the safari and stuff, and of course it has all these things that it's good for. This tree the leaves on this tree have a medicinal value. And some of the things that it's good for was asthma, bronchitis, high blood pressure, liver disease, and it promotes sleep. And there was a slew of other things listed that this tree leaf could do. I think you make a tea from it or something, but it has a caution on there, a huge warning that because they've not tested a whole lot of it and stuff, that you need to seek advice from your physician before you would attempt to try to make a tea from this leaf and stuff. So if you do try to do it, make sure you talk to your physician first and stuff. So anyway, we just got to talking about that and just all about this huge tree and stuff. And so I also found out about some of the exports that they have. They are known for coffee, cocoa, and sugar. They have miles and miles and miles of sugarcane farms. They have a sugar processing plant there and stuff. And I got to see that, how they process their sugar and send it out and get it into stores and stuff. And so that was interesting to me. They had several stores on the resort that I was on, and they were ran by Dominicans. And so I was in one of the stores, and I must have been in the store for probably an hour and a half, close to 2 hours, because they were giving me such a huge, all the backstory on the Dominicans and how basically they came about and stuff. And he went way back, and he was telling me about that, just the rich history that they have. And I was like, wow, I have a deeper appreciation for the Dominicans at this point after all these stories that this man has told me and things. And so while also I was there on my first day, I got my hair braided. There was some Dominican ladies that braided my hair. Y'all, I've never seen anything like it. I had 4 young ladies on my hair at one time. There were 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And they worked together so well as a team. The first young lady would start the braid at my scalp, and she'd probably go maybe about this far out or whatever. And the second young lady would come along, and she would finish the braid to the end. And then there was another lady, a 5th person, would come around, and she would put the hair on my fingertips. She would interlace it in between my fingers. And because these are extensions, this is not my hair, so no. Anyway, so she would do that. So I was sitting there like this with hair, strung between my fingers, and as the young ladies were braiding, they could just easily reach down and grab it and braid it into my hair. It was awesome. They finished my hair in 2 hours, y'all. 2 hours. And I was like, oh yeah, the peace sign right there. 2 peace. I can do this. We are good to go. So I was just excited with that. The resort that I stayed at was absolutely amazing. The beach that was at my resort was amazing. I'm going to show you a clip of that at the end of this video as well, so you can experience some of the things that I was seeing while I was there. Also ran into some hiccups with the airline, as a lot of people are, at this time. There's a lot of things going on, with the airline and stuff. And so ran into some hiccups with that, but it was all good. My flight got delayed in Santo Domingo 3 times. And so it got delayed 3 times, and that kept pushing me back, and I ended up missing my connecting flight to Miami. Well, by the time I got to Miami, we all had to go through customs after coming through Santo Domingo. And so there was this elderly couple that was in line in front of me. And so they tickled me. And so the wife, she said to her husband, she was like, you need to get behind me because you're moving too slow and you're holding up the line. And these people are going to be mad. Honestly, she wasn't moving much faster than him, but it was kind of funny. And so I just kind of giggled a little bit at him and stuff, And so we all were just going through the little zigzag line, in customs and stuff. And so I'm standing there just responding to a text message, to say, hey, I'm back in the U.S., and this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, out of my peripheral vision, I see this lady leaning towards me. So I dropped my phone down because I thought she was leaning to ask me something or to say something. Well, little did I know, she was falling into me. She hit me right here. And so I'm trying to catch her, and her husband, bless his little heart, he was trying to catch her as well, but he didn't have a whole lot of strength to try to hold her up. And so there was a guy in line behind me. I honestly think he was the air marshal, because it was like he no longer looked like he was undercover and stuff. He pulls out a radio, he has a badge on and stuff, and he's radioing for help and stuff. And other people in the line are yelling, for someone to come and help us and stuff. That we had someone who was sick in line. And I mean, it was about 8 or 9, maybe even 10 law enforcement agents, came running. And then medical unit came running and stuff. And so we're all there. Looking at the husband, and the husband's eyes were just, it was just a look of desperation. He just, oh my God, it was indescribable how he looked and stuff. And so I'm here trying to be there for him emotionally and trying to be here for her medically, which, I don't know what I can do for her. So I was extremely grateful for when first responders came on the scene and things, and stuff. And as I'm standing there, in line, well, on my knees in line with them, all I can think again is Isaiah 41:10, where it says, I will make you strong and help you. And then he says again that I am going to support you with my right hand that brings victory. Well, I'm standing here, my hand, I'm literally trying to hold both of these people up, and so other people come around and help, with trying to hold them up and things. And so the wife, she was breathing again. So I was like, okay, great. She's conscious. We have a victory right here. She's conscious. I don't know what the final outcome was of it or anything, because in the end we had to start redirecting the traffic to get through customs and stuff. And so I don't know what the outcome was, but I pray all is well with her and her husband and stuff. So that was another thing that happened, while I was in the Dominican. And so from there, I, finally got to my gate and stuff, and I ended up getting rebooked for another flight. Well, very grateful for that, because they put us up in a really nice hotel and gave us vouchers for meals and stuff. So it was a win-win as far as I'm concerned. It just delayed me into the next morning with getting home. I had an 11 o'clock appointment that I needed to get to. So as long as I got to that, I was good to go. It didn't matter to me and stuff. So they rebooked me on a 6 o'clock flight that was flying out the next morning. Well, and I was flying standby. Well, I didn't realize until I got to the airport that morning and to the gate at 6 o'clock, ready to get on a plane, that there were 29 people on the standby list. I was like, OMG. Well, they were only able to take 3 people out of the 29. So they went with the first 3 on the list. Can you guess what number I was on the list? I was number 2, another peace sign. I said, look at God. I was number 2 on that standby list. So I was able to get on the plane, and I got to my final destination and to my appointment with about 30 minutes to spare. So I was like, yeah, this is all God. Look at him. Look at the goodness of God. I was just so excited about that. So anyway, I just, wanted to get on here and just tell you guys about my trip to the Dominican and just how God was all over it the entire time. His goodness was all over my trip to the Dominican. Isaiah 41:10, don't worry. I had no worries. And it says, because I am with you. Don't be afraid. I was not afraid. I had no fear because he's my God. It says that I will make you strong and I will help you. And he did that all day long while I was there. I will support you with my right hand that brings victory. And I am telling you, it was victory all the way through. I just wanted to share these experiences and these stories with you because I definitely want God to get the glory out of this. He gets the victory. I'm telling the story, but he's getting the victory out of this. He's getting the glory out of all of this. And I am ever so grateful to be in your presence, to be able to share these opportunities with you. Guys, I am thankful for you letting me come into your space for a few moments just to tell you about the goodness of God and just, provide some words of encouragement for you. If you have some friends that would love to see this video clip or some of my previous video clips, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and encourage them to subscribe to my channel as well. I want you all to know that I love you. I absolutely love you all. And I want you to do one thing for me. And that is for you to have an amazing rest of the day. And I want you to do it on purpose. I love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Be blessed, my friends. Bye. Just look at that. All that blue. You hear that? Oh, that sound is so relaxing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I can swim, but I am in no way am I an Olympic swimmer by any means. So I stepped into the water, I think it was Saturday, and I just wanted to get in a little bit to see, to say I had put my toes in the sand and in the water and stuff, and I took like one step too far, and it was as if the ground got real low, and the water went from being about ankle high on me to about waist deep. And I thought, oh my, okay, just don't panic. You'll get out of here. And yeah, I managed to get myself out of that water because I did not want this to be the last vacation that I take. Last look. I hope you're enjoying it because I sure am. Oops. So nice. So nice out here. Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.